Shavua Tov, everyone, and Shana Tova. I assume that all of you will be locked in and sealed for a good and sweet year on Yom Kippur, which starts this Tuesday night. Welcome to video number 111 in our TillesTells Saturday night group. I adapted and supplemented this story from the website nishmas.org. Its title is The Surprise Cantor. Once in the late 1700s, on the eve of Yom Kippur, a short, frail-seeming man in the garb of a Torah scholar appeared in the main shul of the town of Yaroslav. It was just before the start of the inaugural evening prayer. Suddenly, without a word of introduction, the man went up to the reader stand and began to chant the famous Kol Nidre prayer in a fear-provoking yet hauntingly beautiful melody. Not one of the members present in the shul could identify the stranger or explain his behavior. But since he was clearly a person of considerable spiritual stature, they allowed him to continue uninterrupted. After the evening prayer ended, the surprise cantor chanted all of the Shiri Yuchud, songs of unity that appears in many prayer books for Yom Kippur, and then began to recite the Tehillim, psalms, one after the other, all while standing. When the members of the shul arrived back in the morning, they found their mysterious guest still standing on his feet, absorbed in prayer. As soon as the minyan assembled, he began to lead Shachrit, the morning prayer. He himself read the Yom Kippur section from the Torah scroll and chanted the Haftorah. He said the Yizkor memorial prayer and then immediately began the arduous Musaf, the additional prayer service, which is on Yom Kippur is extremely long. By this point, the members had become suspicious. Was he indeed a mortal human being or some kind of angel that had descended on this awesome day? For his voice and his stamina were otherworldly. But then, there were times when the cantor kept silent while the congregation sang, and they found themselves reaching such heights of exaltation that they accepted that he was but a mortal and they were his equals. However, as the Ne'ilah prayer drew to a close, the congregation, thoroughly swept up by his singing and roaring as he stormed the gates of prayer, petitioning to bring in the Jewish nation in the merit of their tshuva, they again felt certain that indeed he could only be an angel. One of those present that special Yom Kippur was Rabbi Yaakov Meshulam Ornstein, born in 1775, the widely respected scholar and author of Yeshuas Yaakov. It is from him that we know this story. After the completion of the services, Rabbi Yaakov Meshulam decided to follow the stranger to his lodgings to see if he would eat right away or not. He observed how the mystery man heard the Havdalah ceremony, which officially concludes the fasting, from others, and asked his host for something geschmacken, tasty, to refresh his soul, for he was hungry. They happily served him some cake and fruit, and so was shocked when he thundered, "No, that's not what I need. Bring me a Gemara Sukkah," the Talmudic tractate that centers on the festival which follows 4 days after Yom Kippur's completion. Carrying the large volume under his arm, he retired to his room, claiming he wanted to rest. Rabbi Yaakov peeked in the keyhole and saw that he had opened up his Gemara and started to study with extraordinary exuberance, not pausing for a minute. Rabbi Yaakov already could not stay awake himself, left to break his fast and to rest. When he returned in the early morning, he found the fellow still learning and about to complete the final page of the tractate. Only after that did he enunciate a sheepish request for a glass of coffee and a bit of cake. The surprise cantor turned out to be none other than Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, later to become one of the greatest and most beloved of the Hasidic masters. His son writes about him in the introduction to his own book, Keser Torah. He raised up thousands upon thousands of disciples and ignited within them a passion for learning Torah and serving the Creator with love. His own divine service was such that even the angels above were envious of him. Personally, I've heard it said among non-Chabad Hasidim that merely to mention his name on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is helpful to gain a positive judgment. And so may it be for us. May we all have a positive, an enthusiastic, positive judgment from the Master of all, and a healthy, successful, enlightening year. Shana Tova.